Good morning, guys. 23rd of May here in Central Illinois. We're on the verge of the Memorial Day weekend. I just thought I'd share with you a little bit of history and train stuff that got going on here. I don't know how many of you know anything about Memorial Day, but it was originally Decoration Day. Memorial Day was started by a man by the name of John A. Logan. He was from Murfreesboro, Illinois. He fought in the Civil War, and initially it was called Decoration Day. And then in 1868, he was commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, and they made it on May the 30th, and it was a day to basically decorate and clean the graves of Civil War veterans. That later on morphed into Memorial Day, where we clean and decorate the graves of all military personnel that have served. So what I thought I'd show you real quick here is, I'm always interested in history. Well, what I've got, the rifle that you're looking at there is a Maynard second model Civil War 50 caliber rifle. This was used by both the Union, and this is an original. It was used by both the Union and the Confederate forces. Like I said, it was a 50 caliber, and it was a hybrid between solid shot, in other words, a center fire shell, and black powder. This used a brass cartridge that you put a 50 caliber ball in. It had a hole where the primer would have been, and then on top, where you got your hammer, you would have put your musket cap on top of it, and that ignited it. And it's a swing open breech. You throw the lever down and it pops open, and you get the shell out. No forearm, which after about 3 or 4 shots would have burnt your hand real well. The other thing I have here is a reproduction. This is not an original, but this is a Colt Dragoon. They made it in the first, second, and third model. All fought in the Civil War. And this one I have converted into a 45 long Colt so that I can use regular brass shells. Now I can switch it back to percussion, but it's a whole lot more fun to shoot it using smokeless powder as the black powder, because then you got to tear it apart and clean it. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff we used on each other during the Civil War. That 50 would spin you around. There's no doubt about it. Also, you better be a hell of a man if you're going to carry this Colt Dragoon all day. It weighed 4 pounds. That's big for a handgun. All right, enough of the history. What we'll look at now, as I told you, I was getting stuff off of eBay. Well, I found me some cranes that are absolutely super duper. These come out of West Germany, 1950. And this is what I have got. I have bought this. I already took measurements before I bought it. It is under 4 inches wide. And as you can see, it sits on this 200 series flat car really well. The clam bucket, since I've only got one hand, I'm not going to mess with this stuff. I don't think I can do it without knocking things off. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. When you roll it down, the clam bucket opens up. This lever up here controls the height of the boom. And these 2 levers back here do other things with the clam bucket. But what I have thought about doing, like I said, I wouldn't mind having a burro crane. And what I thought about doing is taking the tracks off of it and using the side plate where the wheels are, take all that off. And I don't think that this car is quite wide enough, but to build another frame just like this, set this down into the frame and use the holes for the axles as mounting brackets. You drilled both sides, and then you could secure it on both ends. This thing, of course, let me see if I can do it. Yeah, I can't get it to go because I don't have good enough grip. But anyhow, this will spin a 380. So there is a lot of play value in this, and it would look absolutely cool. Also, I set it up with a 200 series car, and you got to realize that that crane would be sitting lower than it sits now. But when you put it together, they'd be almost about the same size. They also came, this is one that's a piece of junk. In fact, it's completely rusted out underneath. But you can put the bucket on it. You can change these booms around. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. My problem is I can't find any screws on this thing, so I don't know how they were put together. That's going to take some further investigation. But I really think if I were to take this setup and set it in its own platform, and then take a 10 series truck and motorize it so everything was under the floor of this flat car, I think it could be one hell of a motorized crane. But that is what I'm doing. This is going to be my next project, or my project as I go along. Work on it. When you get honked off, you wind up doing something else. But there's a lot of possibilities with this. And I also like the fact that it's basically 200 series size. So it would look good with a 200 series flat car, either pulling it or pushing it, or both. And we're coming along with the crane, the other one. We've got the other side. Both sides now have been cut. I've got to go ahead and shape and form the other boom. I've cut this off, and I'm in the process of getting it all filed down so that when I put this across it, you're only going to see just a little of it. That will be the basis for securing it to the platform. Like I said, I'm going to cut everything off right here, and that will allow this whole thing to pivot back and forth. So that's what we're working on. It's coming along pretty well. I've been spending a lot of time going to museums. I went down to the Illinois Military Museum here just a couple of days ago. Then the day before yesterday, I went to Frank Lloyd Wright's house in Springfield, Illinois, the Dana Thomas house. Today I'm planning up going north around Dunlap, Illinois, to a place called Wheels o' Time. They got steam locomotives, they got cars, anything that's with transportation. I've never been to it. I've seen it. It's an easy drive, 68 miles from here. So I'll go ahead and see that, and maybe I'll find another project that I want to work with. So you guys have a good and a safe holiday weekend. Don't drink too much beer, eat too many hot dogs, and kick back and enjoy. We'll talk with you later. Toodaloo.